That's a lot of there's a lot of incels. In like white supremacists, these white supremacists carrying out these attacks, like the Christchurch shooter, for example, an example of accelerationist.
You think that's true on the left too, for left accelerationists?
I'm not familiar with left-leaning accelerationism.
Well, that pretty much any Marxist.
It could, if like you're trying to get to like your anarcho-commie bullshit faster, maybe.
Yeah, Marxist Leninists. If they're Leninists and stuff, they tend to be accelerationist, or even tankies.
Yeah, I'm reading about it in Wiki, and it says here that accelerationist theory has been divided into mutually contradictory left-wing and right-wing variants. Left accelerationism attempts to process technological evolution beyond the constructive horizon of capitalism, and right accelerationism supports the indefinite intensification of capitalism. And then it says that around 2010, white nationalists adopted the term and began to focus on capitalism at any cost. And then it says here, importantly, since the word accelerationism was coined in 2010 to describe the aforementioned philosophical movement, the term has suffered from considerable conceptual stretching and has taken on several new meanings. So I think it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people.
Oh yeah, but exactly. basically I think it's a rejection of politics as usual for revolution, right?
Well, it may just be me being the lefty that I am, but it seems that one of those is far worse than the other one.
Well, when you say lefty, what does that mean anymore? Because I have no idea what words mean anymore in politics because of the fucking internet.
Just don't mean anything.
Lefty, if you tell me you're lefty and you're still, like USA left liberal Democrat, I know a lot of lefties on the left who would say you're not on the left at all.
I'm curious, which left exactly is China? Because left communism is supposed to be about social things, but they literally take capitalist industrial revolution thing of children working in the factories literally.
China is it's classified as state communism, which means it's a single party state dominated by Marxist Leninists with the goal of achieving a communist society. Now, the fact that they are allowing private enterprise and businesses, and to a certain extent, a lot of MLs, Marxist Leninists, will tell you, well, it's not really socialist, but that's just a no true Scotsman fallacy. China is a state communism.
They call themselves communists.
Yes, they
do communistic shit.
Yes, they do. But there's a lot of denial. There's denial on all sides. There's denial on the right too. They'll deny a lot of things about the history of authoritarian regimes too.
Like Lemonbird was in here saying that fascism was a left-wing ideology.
Yeah, they'll say that.
That was Lemonbird.
Yeah,
well,
Lemon.
Yeah, it's not. It has, but if you can, I actually there's features that kind of overlap. So the Nazis in Nazi Germany did have a command economy. They had price controls. Factories were told how much they could produce, who they would hire, who they would fire, and how much things would sell for. So it was a pretty. That's a socialist command economy model. But there's a lot of things that, of course, that don't overlap.
Yeah, but so the word privatization comes from the Nazis.
Yeah, but so it's overlapping. So you can take communism and fascism, and you can overlap them, and you'll get some things that are in the intersection of the two circles, and there'll be features that they share and features that they don't. I mean,
but even still, that doesn't mean. Like, even just because they have some overlapping features does not mean that
Yeah, I agree.
Fascism is a left-wing
Well,
ideology.
I don't think
period.
that there's. I don't think that
What
there's any.
difference does
I
it
don't think
make
there's
when
any
it's called-
meaning. I don't think that there's any meaning behind saying fascism is left, or even that communism is left. These are just groups that people self-identify with, and people just kind of bring in their own agendas to and sort of just stick them onto it and stuff. So
You know what really gets my gizzard, Brenda, is that you and I used to talk a lot, and then I just saw you again not too long ago, and you acted like you didn't even know who I am, and I could show you our DMs, and I did, and you still pretend like you don't even know me. It really hurts my feelings, Brenda.
I don't remember. Maybe it's the fact that I'm older and I just don't recall. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, us older people tend to have problem with our memories, you know.
Well,
Fucking boomers.
it isn't my memory. It isn't probably that. It's due to the fact that I talk to a lot of people during a day, and there's only so much. I only have so much hard drive space.
I talked to a lot of people too, but I still remembered you.
But your memory is
Of
really
course,
good.
that's because you should remember me.
The truth is, Dak, the truth is, there is some truth to that, actually, that you can, you and I and a bunch of people like us are pretty interchangeable, noisy, a little smarter than average, opinionated, annoying. You know what I mean? You could flip a bunch of us out.
So are you saying,
I'm just
Brenda,
kidding. I'm just kidding. I feel bad if that it feels like I've ignored somebody. It makes I feel bad, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that.
So are you saying, Brenda, that you talk to a lot of flat earthers, and at the end of the day, just to remember it all, some of the globe stuff has to go?
I would no, that's not always true. I was literally just in a conversation. There was in a different Discord between a Nazi and a communist.
Like either of them.
That was interesting.
So how did it go?
Well, they both hate me because I'm just an ordinary liberal Democrat.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a social
seriously,
Democrat, yeah.
seriously, they turn on me. They both do. They turn
The
on
one
me.
thing they can agree on.
I sometimes come off as pretty liberal, which I kind of am, but I'm a liberal in the United States sense. In the global sense, holy shit, people on the left say, no fucking way, you are not a liberal. They hate me more than they hate fascists.
Really? Is
That
that
was
true?
a problem in that was a problem in Spain, right? That's why the fucking left lost in Spain, is because the liberals and the anarchists and the communists were all fighting each other.
Left
yeah.
hates other lefties more than they hate right-wingers.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah.
We don't really have that kind of left in America, though, do we? We don't have a hard socio-anarcho.
Well,
You're starting to
communism.
have them right now with Ocasio-Cortez and those.
You'll run into them.
You're getting yours.
You'll run into those people on Discord and on the internet, but in actual fact, they're very small numbers of the people in the United States. Yeah. I mean, it takes all kinds to make a world. I've run into a trans woman who had a fascist boyfriend.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Well, there's, you can't choose who you love, I guess.
Basically, I think that was it. But she had really, really far right ideas and stuff, and nevertheless, her boyfriend was pretty right wing authoritarian too. It's just
You remember Bunny, Brenda, from the old politics server?
yeah, kind of, barely.
Bunny went on to found TRS. Great stuff. At any rate,
Is that Bad Bunny, or is that a different person?
I just call and I say her I don't know. I think it's just non-binary. I don't know what the gender was, but like this person went on to found like the Nazi capital of Discord, essentially.
Yeah, it's a strange world. I mean, I don't understand. Yeah, there's no guarantee that a person's sexuality or gender identity is going to get you their political identity, although it seems to go against their common interest. I mean, there are
Well,
blacks. There are aren't there blacks who are white supremacists?
Yes, there are. Yeah, there are.
There is a black dude in KKK, apparently.
I do not understand that at all, but
Got hate in your heart,
Holy-
let it out.
I just don't get that.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. But I mean, it just goes to show that human brains are weird, and sometimes the outliers are just inexplicable. I mean,
I have somewhere
let's-
a picture of a dude. I was having a debate with this guy, and I was like, "Oh, you're just a Nazi." And he sent me a picture. He was just a black guy standing in front of a Nazi flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
It seems to be.
who I'm
I
talking
don't
to.
get that. I don't get that at all.
And do you?
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Like, I don't see why people would like be in favor of an ideology would lead to their extinction.
Well, to be fair, the Nazis have a regional idea of races belonging somewhere. So, well, anywhere but
That's right.
Africa, obviously, that would be bad. But you know, if you were where you belong, then,
Oh, yeah.
then you know you could be a black Nazi.
I get that now. I get that now. You could have. I'm a black Nazi
Until
because
they
I think
decide
I'm
they
gonna,
want like the resources. Like
Yeah,
the
I'm-
Polish belonged in Poland, didn't they?
Well, no, because that
what were you
was
saying, Brenda?
formerly Germany.
Oh, it's okay.
And
What were you
It's
saying,
okay.
Brenda?
It's okay.
Also,
I don't mind.
You know, the other thing I think is that the rhetoric has changed, and so the current, I think, modern Nazis take we don't actually believe one race is better than another approach. They take we just think separation is a good thing, and so if you take that approach and that's your rhetoric, then you can imagine that if somebody like when say Nation of Islam was a separationist movement at one point, you can imagine them just aligning at that point. Then, but it's still all crazy if you ask me. But that you can sort of see how that might happen.
Why
Yeah.
exactly?
Yeah, and I don't
Why
think
what?
that's how it would go down in reality, though. Either I think that. That's
Yeah. It's the repackaging, the rebranding to make it slightly more acceptable.
But like, what's
Again,
wrong
I
with
go back to the
separatism?
boys because this is exactly what's happening in the boys.
Well, there are plenty of things wrong with separation, but the thing I was saying was the problem was that it's ignoring the roots of the movement that were definitely racist. Seems a little bit weird because it does seem a little just like a disingenuous repackaging. I mean, the truth is, neo-Nazi movements are white supremacist movements, have always been. And yes, they know better than to say that now, but I don't really believe that that's a true change of heart. I think that's just rhetoric.
Yeah. They've repackaged it like multiple times to again appeal to normies. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
I
my
agree.
personal experiences have been a bit different, but okay.
What's your
Because
what
you
do
can
mean
get some
different? In what
normie
way?
soccer
Hold on,
mom,
Snack.
like-
Hold on. Different in what way, Wolfgang? Or I'm sorry,
Like,
Wolfgang. Yes, well,
yeah, it's me. Like, for what I've been around those people and in their internet places and streams and whatever, they rather seem to be like thinking that way, that they're only separation. There's not that much talk about hating and killing others or anything like that, that usually I seem to be hearing. How people
I
think
think they
are.
reserve that for discussion amongst themselves, just like the Nazis.
Yeah, but I've been
I agree.
amongst themselves.
Like the Nazis didn't go out and I mean Hitler did. Hitler talked about like if he got elected like that day, he'd go and start hanging Jews from lampposts.
But I've been inside their fucking things.
but Wolfgang, would you say though that do they do the thing where what I've noticed when they've come here and like sort of rated us, whatever? What I've noticed is they don't use overtly like we don't like or we think we're better than, but they'll do things like without sort of any sense of they'll present all kinds of statistics and facts, say about crime rates and race or something. They'll present a case that the conclusion of which is clearly intended to be one race is inherently more violent than another or something. Now they won't necessarily say, and we want to kill them all, or we want to, they'll say separation is a good thing. We think we're not racist. We don't think one race is better. And then they'll also sort of at the same time present a bunch of these statistics that are sort of designed to sort of sell a story of that races really are different in terms of quality. Do you
But
see that
races
happening
are
instead?
different. That's fucking like why there is a even debate about that is beyond me.
Well, because I think the debate happens because it's races may have differences, but identifying those differences and understanding whether those differences matter, understanding whether those differences are being accurately depicted by this or that version of statistics, that's trickier. It's very,
but like
How deep are those differences?
There's don't forget this. It's so tricky to tell the truth with statistics. It's so easy to lie or mislead with it. That's when it becomes a question of racism. Yeah.
Yeah, but also it seems nowadays that even recognizing those differences or admitting that you see them seems to be incredible bad.
What
Well,
difference
it's because it's rooted in people's attempts. It reminds people of people's attempts to do it in a bad way. I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Mackie. Go ahead, Mackie.
No, I just want to know what differences exactly he's talking about that we should be talking about.
Question.